You're listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Saturday the 6th of June, 2026. It is 78 days after the spring equinox. It is 15 days before the summer solstice. In today's episode, garden snails, parachutes, D-Day, Sex and the City, Abercrombie & Fitch, and Bjorn Borg. The sun rises today at 5:25 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:54 p.m. The sun sets today at 8:24 p.m., civil twilight ends at 8:57 p.m., and nautical twilight ends at 9:39 p.m. The length of daytime today is 54 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waning gibbous phase and is 67% full at midday. The moon rises today at 12:25 a.m., and then it sets at 10:56 a.m. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the wee hours, high tide, 2:53 a.m., 1 meter 46. In the morning, low tide, 9:10 a.m., 9 centimeters. In the afternoon, high tide, 3:28 p.m., 27 centimeters. At night, low tide, 9:31 p.m., 27 centimeters. In our shared realm of plants and animals, it's been pretty dry recently, even as the weather has warmed up. So we have yet to see any snails about in gardens and parks, but they are certainly there. Some of the most common varieties here are grove snails and European garden snails, both of which are non-native. They arrived on these shores by the early to mid-19th century, mostly by accident, hitching a ride on potted plants. But some were purposely imported to be raised for food, and quite a number of those escaped. If you're in mind to catch them and prepare them as escargot, it's best not. They can pick up poisons from their environment and carry parasites. And like catfish, you have to feed them clean food for several days, then withhold food for 24 hours so they purge their systems. Some things are best left to professionals. Commemorations. On this day in 1942, Adeline Gray made the first jump from a plane using a nylon parachute. She worked for the Pioneer Parachute Company, folding and packing the devices. She was herself an accomplished parachutist who worked as a trainer for people learning to jump. DuPont had been making nylons for stockings, and during the war they shifted production of nylon to parachutes. Previously, silk and sometimes cotton had been used, and Japan had been our main supplier of parachute material. Oops. Newspapers of the time noted how pretty she was, but we remember Adeline Gray for her skill and her daring. Today is the anniversary of D-Day, the day in 1944 when the Allies landed on the beaches of Normandy to liberate Northern Europe from Nazi occupation. The day began before dawn with 18,000 British and American parachutists landing behind enemy lines. Hat tip to Adeline Gray, perhaps. At 6:30 a.m., troops began to land on Utah and Omaha beaches. On this day in 1998, Sex and the City first aired on HBO, starring Sarah Jessica Parker, Kim Cattrall, Kristen Davis, and Cynthia Nixon. It was a fun romp through a highly aspirational version of New York City. We are convinced it inspired a whole generation of people to move to the city and enjoy their Rumspringa before moving back to the suburbs that they came from. Today we remember David T. Abercrombie, born this day in 1867. Yes, the man who started Abercrombie & Fitch. As a young man, he worked as a surveyor for the Norfolk and Western Railroad in West Virginia and the Carolinas. His time in the wilderness convinced him that the clothing and equipment he could buy was completely inadequate, so he began to design his own. He opened his first emporium for high-quality sporting goods at 36th South Street in 1892. He outfitted Teddy Roosevelt and his Rough Riders, and equipped the explorer Robert Peary. Fitch was a wealthy customer who eventually bought into the business. Unfortunately, they soon fell out, and Abercrombie sold his share. So that is the origin story of Abercrombie & Fitch. Today we wish a happy birthday to Bjorn Borg, born this day in 1956 in Stockholm. He won 11 Grand Slam singles titles between 1974 and 1981. Cool under pressure and totally focused on playing his best game, he earned the nicknames Iceman and, we like this one, Ice Borg. What a contrast to his confrontational younger contemporary, John McEnroe. Happy birthday, Bjorn Borg. Finally, in our preparations for July 4th, we offer you a thought from Condoleezza Rice, who served as Secretary of State under George W. Bush. At the Republican National Convention in 2012, she said this: "The essence of America, that which really unites us, is not ethnicity or nationality or religion. It is an idea, and what an idea it is, that you can come from humble circumstances and do great things." And that is the Observatory, Saturday the 6th of June, 2026.